Okay, we are here with our drywall joint. This joint has dried overnight. It's been at least 24 hours. And as you can see, our tape has been firmly embedded. There's no areas where it's pulling off, so we always want to make that inspection, make sure the tape embedded well. Since it has stuck, we're ready for our second coat, which is our second coat, and we call that a finishing coat. For this, we're going to use an 8-inch finishing knife, as you can see here. And the layer of mud that we will apply is going to be about the width of the knife. So we're going to be about 8 inches across here, which is approximately 1.5 inches to 2 inches beyond what I have currently. So the first step is to get mud in your pan, which I've already done. I've loaded up one side of the pan here with mud. And again, we want to keep our pan clean to avoid any lines running through our finished joint. So I'm going to take my knife and cut in here and scrape it against the other side to load my knife up with mud. I'm going to start on one side and work my way across this joint. So starting on one end, I'm going to apply this mud, and the flatter I lay this knife, the more compound I'm going to apply. So as you can see, as I draw across this joint, I'm going to gradually flatten this knife out to apply more compound. I'm not real worried about how it looks here on the first go around, because I will smooth it out as I go on here. So I just want to make sure I have an even layer of mud all the way across. Take a clean knife and I'm going to come across this joint again right along the center to smooth out any imperfections that I may have. The next thing that I'm going to do is what's called feathering. When I feather, I hold my corner tight against the drywall at the bottom, and then I hold the upper corner of the knife here away from the joint. So as you can see, my knife is angled. So I'm going to draw it across, and I'm holding that top edge away, and the bottom edge is tight against the drywall. And when I feather, it allows me to even out that edge, because remember, I'm going from probably a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch thick of mud to no mud. So I have to make up that difference. So the bottom I've feathered, the top again. In this case, the top edge of the knife is tight against the drywall. The bottom edge I'm holding up off of the compound. So the bottom edge and the top edge are both feathered. So you can see I've got some nicks. So I'm going to make one more pass across the center and just let that knife float. And I'm going to call that good. Remember, we have one more step, so in that final step we'll fill in a few of these imperfections that remain. We're going to allow this to dry 24 hours and we'll be ready for step number 3.